Welcome to the definitive battle of the sexes. Welcome to Sex Wars.
Hoist the main brace, you scurvy dogs.
We've asked 3 happily married couples to take part in a series of challenges which are designed to test out common assumptions or theories about men and women.
What's sex then?
They are Dave and Joe, married for just 5 years. They've got 3 children. Joe is a full-time mum and Dave reads meters for a living. Couple 2 are Sarah and Kelvin, married for 8 years with 2 children. Sarah's a complete softie when it comes to animals, and Kelvin works 24/7 as a self-employed builder. And finally, Alan and Sue. They've been married for a blissful 19 years. They have 3 teenage children and they run a window cleaning business. They're all good friends from the village of Bishop's Nympton on Exmoor. But will they still be good friends, or quite so happily married, when we've finished with them in Sex Wars?
Did you wash your hands before cooking this?
The men and women will be competing against each other to win a prize, which is a brilliant weekend away for just one of the teams. Observing their performance are psychologist Tim Bartlett and writer Jenny Mills. They'll be assessing and interpreting the couple's behaviour. So, will the boys rise to the challenge?
Come on, boys!
Or will the girls come out on top?
This isn't working for me.
We've brought our couples to a country house where they'll watch and discuss how they did in the challenges and will be awarded points in a bid to win Sex Wars. Now, this week's battleground is the playroom. Let me present you with 2 testable facts. Women are hormonally designed to and love nothing more than looking after children. Men are incapable of doing any more than one thing at a time, and so they find looking after children a daunting and impossible task. Are these theories true? Our couples all have children. What do they think?
I do appreciate that she does all the work, at home, looking after the kids, because sometimes I do work long hours in the week. Sometimes I do 6, maybe 7 days, to keep earning the money, but someone has to look after the children in that time.
When the kids have parties in our house, Kelvin will usually just be sort of standing in the corner, getting merrily kind of with a can of beer, looking on adoringly and really not doing very much, actually.
We've just had Ellie's, it was her 4th birthday, and I have to say I did do everything, and just as the first parent turned up, Dave took the oven glove and threw it over his shoulder. I kid you not, and opened the door. I know. And when he shut the door, he said, I've got to make it look like I've been doing something.
No way.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
She's a bit weaker than me. She gets pushed around by the children. I'm harder, and I think they probably hate me for it.
I've dealt with the girls and he's dealt with James. I think that works best, really.
Probably the best thing I've ever done in my life is have 3 kids, and that's genuine. I actually do feel that they're the most fantastic, irritating, wind-up merchant things that I've ever been involved in.
This week's challenges test the teams on how they interact with their children. Can men do things traditionally done by women, and vice versa? Our first challenge just involves one couple, Sarah against Kelvin. We asked their 8-year-old daughter, Maddie, to draw a picture of anything she liked. Then her parents had to try and explain what they thought it was all about. Who would be the more accurate?
It's a rabbit waving with standing on fields with flowers, and it's a sunny day.
Maddie's drawn a picture. Rosie. I would say that it's a dog waving.
I'd say this, and I wouldn't say it if she was here. I don't know what it is. I would never tell her.
Oh no, I know what it is. It's Rosie's probably our old rat, and she's gone to heaven or something.
Looks like some sort of animal.
That's what I imagine that is, yeah. Our pet. That's what I think that is.
I don't know what this is she's written at the bottom. Oh, I wish her spelling was better. If I had to guess, I'd say it was the littlest puppy, who we called first because she was the first one to be born, and friends of ours are going to buy her, and they thought of calling her Rosie, and that would probably be my best guess.
So neither of her parents guessed correctly. Maddie told us her picture was of a rabbit standing in fields on a sunny day.
So I think we've kind of proved something there in that neither of you were more attuned. It certainly wasn't that the woman was more attuned to what she was thinking when she was doing that drawing. So 0 each, sadly, for that. Although I am tempted to award you a point because you were obviously so gutted that you couldn't get it right.
So was I.
And I wouldn't have told her.
That was sheep jive to try and get points, or was it not?
No, it probably was, but I was as gutted as Sarah was.
So no change then. The scores stay even at 4-all.
Surely any good parent knows their child really well. Surely any good parent knows as much about the child's hobbies as they do about their own. Wouldn't you think? Well, this next challenge for the women, we'll find out.
You've got half an hour to erect this tent and then be in the spotlight for a session of mastermind with your kids.
Oh my God!
Sorry, Sarah.
Has it got anything else on those instructions, Sarah?
So it says, take the poles and push them through the sleeves on the tent. I wonder if this could support the weight of 3 women flying over Bishop's Mountain.
Now you can start to put the pegs in.
These are easy peasy, look, they just go through there. I'm going to get trapped behind this in a minute. We're probably doing it right. I think we're done. Ta-da!
What is the scariest film I've ever seen so far?
Jeepers Creepers.
That's the incorrect answer. Show me how to do the third ballet position.
Oh, I've got to stand up and show you, right. I don't know if I can do it right.
That is correct.
Yay!
Who is my favourite football player? You have a choice between Frank Lampard, David Beckham or John Terry.
I think I know the answer to this one. Lampard.
That's correct. What is my favourite TV programme? Angry Kid, Dennis the Menace or The Simpsons?
The Simpsons.
Incorrect, it's Angry Kid.
Oh no!
What's the name of the environmental artist that I like?
Oh, Emma. Environment. I don't know.
How many gigabytes does M&M Shell Shock to the PlayStation game take up on a memory card?
10.
Yes.
Oh, I'm supposed to know that. I don't know.
That can't be right. That can't be right.
Absolutely. So you were given half an hour to put up the tent. Did it in 15 minutes. Very impressive.
15.
And the children awarded you 8 out of 10 for doing that. As for the Master Mum questions, we'll come back to those later with our psychological experts. Who'll give you a scoring on that. But I think the interesting thing there is how you guys reacted when you got it, whether you got it right or wrong. You did not like Sarah getting it wrong, did you?
Do you know, I've got to take issue with Adam on that one, because his favourite TV programme is The Simpsons. He's just going up to senior school and they've given him a booklet, and in that he's got to write all his favourite things. And this was about 2 weeks.
Are you calling your son a liar?
Would it matter as much to you guys?
Yeah, I think we would like to think we would do well on those questions. We definitely got the football ones, wouldn't we?
Correct.
Yeah.
But that's just a matter
Because
of
you
male
like
pride
football.
rather than, yeah, absolutely. Is there a tug on your heartstrings? That's what I'm saying. Is there the same kind of bond that makes these guys feel a bit like they've failed if they've got the answer wrong?
Honestly, no.
Join us after the break when we'll see how the men cope with a large group of children without a woman in sight.
Do you want the chance of winning a short break for your family in a top resort in Wiltshire? Just call or text the answer to a simple question revealed in part 2. More details will follow at the end of the programme.
Welcome back to Sex Wars, the show that pits men against women. Our couples have been battling it out in the playroom, trying to discover the truth about childcare. Are the women more naturally suited to it, or is it the men?
We've got scores to come at the end of the programme. It's all to play for. Meantime, the men needed a challenge of their own. Something that would get them multitasking. We thought about, how would you cope if we gave you a children's party to organise?
And of course, our experts, Tim and Jenny, will be watching too.
You have 2 hours to organise a party for 10 kids. The kids will arrive for an hour and a half. You must supply food, games and entertainment. What do you think?
I think that's all right.
Yep. So I'll shoot off and get me Wicks pick up your guitar. Right, cupboard. Here it is. The offending article.
You okay? Everything going alright in here?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. Yeah. So, are you happy with that?
Yeah. Now I'll do the tail and the donkey thing. I just want a drawing pin for the
Right.
for that and some crayons.
Right.
That is for dressing up though. He went as a porno star.
Not being a brilliant drawer, it will be what it is in the tail on the donkey.
Children's parties, in my experience, are just like cakes, sweets, crisps, chocolate bars, lollipops, and as much pop as you can get down there.
Oh my goodness. They'll all be hyperactive.
I think that's going to happen, Jenny.
Hoist the main brace, you scurvy dogs.
If I was a child and I walked in to see you wearing that, I'd be quite frightened, I think.
Good idea would be, Dave,
Yeah?
if I buried a can of lager in the ground. Yeah, inside a plastic bag so it doesn't get all dirty, so I can't drink out of it.
Yeah.
Then they can come round and say the captain's lost his grog. Yeah? And they've got to help me find my grog. What do you think?
A treasure hunt?
Yeah.
With an adult twist?
Yeah.
Everyone's happy.
Everybody's happy.
You know what's already starting to occur to me about this? Whose party is it? Is it for the kids or is it for the blokes?
Sure that's not permanent?
I'm not sure at all.
Ethnic.
The 2 hours preparation are up and the children are on their way. It's going to get interesting.
Hello children. You can go and have a little play in the conservatory. There's lots of toys in there for all ages.
If you want to use the finger paints, get a seat, sit down.
Yeah.
Right, we'll pass the paper around. I think we should just let them have the table to themselves with the Play-Doh.
Yeah, just to get used to.
And then we'll clear that away after like maybe 2 or 3 minutes.
They need to get used to who's here at the party, don't they? And then just get used to each other, and then we'll go and get involved in what we're doing.
Clear that off, get the grub on there,
and then
let them sugar up.
Right. What do you think? It's going all right, isn't it?
I don't know why they moan. It's easy, this.
I am the entertainment, so if you can all sit in a circle, whoever wants to play Pass the Parcel needs to sit in a big circle here. We're passing the parcel today.
Passing the parcel. Passing the parcel. Today.
That's you, Billy Boy.
Has everybody got their hat finished?
Everyone's got their hat.
Where's me grog? Where's me grog?
You do see what's happening with this group dynamic quite clearly here. You've got Kelvin out there, generally being the source of both inspiration, motivation, energy, and the other two just really fitting around, getting his back.
Find the loose bit of earth!
I think we've really hit on something here with Kelvin, because he's right up his alley, and we don't really have to do anything at all.
10, pull it hard. Oh!
We've got all the right ingredients here.
Dismith grog! 3 cheers for the captain! Hip hip! Hip hip! Hooray!
We found it!
See the disappointment on those kids' faces. Lager.
No prize for them, just beer.
Oh God, that's funny.
So come on then. What did you think? Apart from the disappointment.
I thought they were all blathered, to be honest.
I was horrified. They were.
But it's very funny.
It was hilarious, but they were just drinking all the time.
I think there'd be some unhappy parents when they see the amount of alcohol.
How do you know it wasn't the same can of beer for an hour and a half in our hand?
It would have got warm, Dave, and you couldn't have that, could you?
I thought they did very well.
We were responsible. We had children with us, and we
did
put up with warm beer to make sure the kids are okay.
I wouldn't necessarily give out Play-Doh to children at a party.
We didn't
in a
know
party
the ages
scenario.
of the children, so we tried to cover for every eventuality. And the thing was, Philippa, we wanted them to have fun, you know? That's what
So
party's
fun was
about.
the only priority there. You weren't practical considerations or nutritional considerations.
Every kid
didn't
went
come
home
into it at all.
unhurt and had such a lovely time, didn't they?
They did. They all enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well done, boys. No broken limbs.
What considerations would you guys have in place? What would be different there?
Well, I don't think it would really be appropriate to take kids on a treasure hunt looking for alcohol.
I don't think you'll
also
find
you have
they
to think about, we tidy the house as we go along, because at the end of it, if you've done it properly, then you don't want to send them home about to be sick.
They weren't about.
They weren't about to be sick at all.
No children were sick.
There were 10 kids
I
there,
think
and
you're just putting these barriers up because we did so
we
well.
did a really good job.
Children all look like they were
They did really enjoy it. But
You might think that the wives and me are harsh, but actually the point scoring was given to the children for this one, and they, as we know, are probably the world's toughest critics. So after the party was over, we asked the children to rate how enjoyable it had been, and this was the result.
I would give them a 9 out of 10 because I think all the kids enjoyed it and they put quite a lot of effort into it. 1 out of 10. 9 out of 10 because I think Kelvin tried to sing but he couldn't. I'll give it a 5 out of 10 because my dad tried to sing but he wasn't a very good singer.
I would give it a 8 out of 10 because they have done well for what time they had to put it together and because they enjoyed it as well.
I'd give them 8 out of 10 because they did put lots of effort into it and stuff, but some of the games were a little bit babyish for us.
So, with the challenges complete, let's bring in our experts Jenny Mills and Tim Bartlett to adjudicate.
Well, from the party perspective, we've got the two aspects. I thought they did very well with the planning. That showed great organisational structure, but we would expect that from the men. Obviously, being good systemisers, good organisers, worked very logically, and mechanics of the party seemed to work well. But also, they seemed to do very well at putting themselves in the position of a child. What do the children want? Which shows great empathy skills as well. I'm not sure whether it's because they're not too far removed from a psyche of a child, or they've just got great empathy skills. But either way, I think they did very well.
You see, I think on the other hand, rather like the old Hollywood films, we need to make a point that no children were harmed during the making of this programme, because actually all the women, it's very interesting how strongly you all reacted to the fact that the men had alcohol at the party. Tim and I were discussing it a bit earlier, and whether or not this is something that's kind of inbuilt into women, I think is very much up for debate. But it's interesting how you all condemned them for doing that. However, we decided we didn't want to actually make that decision. We decided to wimp out and leave all the scoring in this programme to the children.
However, somebody had to add them up. And that was your job.
Okay, well, the children voted a great range of scores from 1 up to, I think, 8 or 9, and it averaged out at 7 out of 10 for your party, which I think is a good score. And the Master Mum combined with the score for the tent exercise as well, averaged out at 7 out of 10 as well. So,
unbelievably, after both such disparate challenges, we have a tie-break situation.
So, after 5 programmes and 14 different challenges, the scores are drawn at 5 apiece.
But we have one more programme left, and along with that programme comes a little surprise for you all. There's not one prize up for grabs. You're both teams are going to get to go away for a luxury weekend. However, we can't leave it like that. We really want to know which is the superior sex, male or female. So during your luxury weekend all expenses paid break, you will be set a challenge. To find out more, see you next week.
For your chance to take a family of up to 6 on a midweek or weekend break in a 3-bedroomed comfort villa at Longleat Forest in Wiltshire, just answer the following question. What did Kelvin plant as buried treasure? Was it A, a £5 note, B, a can of lager, or C, a necklace? Call 090 129 30120 and leave your answer together with your contact details, or text WARS plus your answer A, B or C to 63337. Calls cost £1.
Next time on Sex Wars, it's the final challenge. Join our teams on their prize weekends. There's still everything to play for.